In this artwork, we're going to create an urban, suburban, and rural landscape. Urban is like a city where buildings and people are close together. Suburban houses are more spread out. It's like a neighborhood where we live. And rural is more like farmland, where houses are spread far apart and there's a lot of green space. Now remember, when you're drawing today, yours does not have to look like mine. Just give it your best and see what comes out. Have fun! For this project, you'll need a piece of paper, something to draw with, markers, and crayons. To begin this project, we're going to be making 4 curved lines. The first will start on the side and curve towards the bottom of the paper. Then we'll go to the other side, curve and touch, back to our first side, curve and touch, and finally our 4th curved line. All right, here we go. So to make your first curved line, start on the side of your paper. Curve down and touch the bottom of the paper somewhere. For your second curved line, go to the other side. Curve over and touch your other curved line. These do not need to line up, even though mine sort of is. Next, move up. You're going to curve again and touch your curved line. Move over to the other side, curve and touch. Now you'll notice I pretty much moved up my paper and I'm very close to the top. This is going to be our ground. Now we're going to start with this line. This is going to be our urban line. Urban is like a city, and so we're going to make a city skyline. And to do that, we're going to be making rectangles on this line. So all you need to do to make rectangles is to just change the top or the height of each one. You can also change the top of each one if you want. I'll show you that in just a minute. So first, I'm going to make tall rectangles, wide rectangles, skinny rectangles, and I'm going to continue those along the top line. So here I go. Now, I can change the top of them. I can add curved tops or triangular tops. Doesn't matter. Or I can just stick with rectangles that are different heights going all the way over. I'm going to try something fancy. I'm going to go over, up, over, down, and over just to take up a little bit more room on my ground line. So here I go. I have rectangles that go all the way across. Now, like I was saying earlier, you can change some of the tops. You can put triangle tops or curved line tops, or you can just leave them. Your next job is to add windows on all of your city buildings. So I'm going to start with simple windows. I'm just going to do some rectangles. Maybe I could do a straight line with a curve. Maybe I could do that where the curve goes taller. Maybe I could add a door. You decide what kind of doors and windows you want to add. Thing we're going to do is we're going to be adding some roads to these 4 sections. Now to do that, let's start with one of the bottom sections. What I want you to do is start at the top of that section and draw a curved line to the bottom. Now you're going to draw a second curved line that goes right next to it. Only when you get near the bottom, you're going to have it be a little bit wider. So here I'm starting here, I'm following it down. But as I get near the bottom, I'm going to let it get wider. And then I'm going to add my little road lines right through the middle. All right, let's add a road to this section. So again, start on the top, do a curved line to the bottom, back to the top, and as you curve down to the bottom, let it get a little bit wider than at the top. And again, add your little lines that go down the middle of your road. Okay, let's do these sections. I'm going to do one over here. So I'm going to start at my top, curve and touch the bottom, back to the top close together, and further apart when I hit the edge. And add my little lines. And finally, my last one. Start at the top of that section, curve down, go back to the top, and get a little bit wider. Notice that this one couldn't end on the bottom. It had to stop on the side, and that's okay too. There, now we have 4 roads. So now that we've finished our urban area, we're going to move to these next 2 sections. These are going to be our suburban area. A suburban area is like where we live, in neighborhoods. So what we're going to do in these 2 sections is we're going to draw houses. Now, let's just keep our houses simple. A square with a triangle. A square with a triangle. You can have your squares and triangles separated, like I'm doing, or you can have your squares and triangles touch. I want you to fill these 2 areas with squares and triangles. Now I'm done with my houses and my details on my house. Now, I kept mine simple, but you're more than welcome to add other details. You could add trees, you could add kids playing. It's a neighborhood, so anything that you would find in a neighborhood could go in these 2 sections. That's our suburban area. Now we're going to move on to our rural area. A rural area is like a farm, where houses are spread far apart and there's a lot of open space. So in these 2 areas, we don't need much. I'm going to keep mine simple. I'm going to draw a barn and a fence, and that's about it. But other things you could draw would be anything you'd find on a farm. Tractor, crops, animals, whatever you want. You're welcome to add color to this any way you'd like. But I'm going to show you how to add color with marker. You know, marker's not really meant for coloring. It's meant for making marks. And so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some pattern in my rural areas. I'm going to, instead of coloring this, I'm going to use my marker to make some dots. For the other things, you can add color, but try not to color with the marker. What you need to do with your marker is you need to learn to press down with the side of your marker and make a nice smooth line. Notice that I don't color back and forth. I draw one line next to the other, so it's nice and smooth and even. Now use markers, crayons, whatever you have to finish the color in the rest of your work.